You're now watching Qnews. Here are the top stories for this hour. Israeli airstrikes on Gaza since early morning have killed around 40 people, including 24 in Qnews. Israeli forces had warned residents to immediately evacuate several neighborhoods in Khan Yunis, claiming rockets were launched from those areas. The strikes are among the deadliest in recent days, further worsening the humanitarian crisis as more civilians flee their homes. The UN says 5 schools sheltering displaced families in northern Gaza were struck by Israeli attack in the past 48 hours. At least 1,500 Palestinian families have fled the north amid intense bombardment. The UN warns military operations have sharply escalated since the latest evacuation orders, raising fears of a wider humanitarian disaster across Gaza. UNRWA warns hunger is being used as a weapon in Gaza and urges immediate humanitarian access. The UN agency says many residents are collapsing from severe food and water shortages. It describes the crisis as critical and calls for urgent, safe aid delivery under UN supervision to prevent further civilian suffering. US President Donald Trump says Israel has accepted conditions for a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza. Trump said the US will work with all sides to end the conflict during this period. His team held lengthy talks with Israeli officials, and he hopes Hamas will agree. Egypt and Qatar are expected to present the final proposal soon. Israeli sources warn of a major offensive in Gaza if no ceasefire is reached. An official told Axios that if talks fail, Israeli forces will escalate operations in Gaza City and main refugee camps, similar to the Rafah assault. Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer said Israel is ready for indirect negotiations with Hamas. Israeli media revealed details of a proposed multi-stage detainees release tied to a Gaza ceasefire. Under the plan, 8 living detainees would be freed on the first day, while the remains of 18 others would be returned in phases. The army would also withdraw to the Netzarim corridor and increase humanitarian aid into Gaza during the truce. Israeli forces ordered 50 families in Tulkarm camp to demolish their homes. Palestinian media say this move is part of a broader plan to demolish 400 housing units in the occupied West Bank. The demolition orders are expected to displace hundreds more Palestinians amid ongoing tensions. Lebanon's Prime Minister says Israeli violations undermine national stability. Prime Minister Nawaf Salem stressed Lebanon's efforts to implement UN Resolution 1701 and regain full control over its territory. He said Beirut is working with Syria to secure borders, combat smuggling, and ensure safe refugee returns. Iran's president has signed a law suspending cooperation with the IAEA. President Masoud Pezeshkian formally ordered the move after Parliament's decision. Tehran says the measure responds to Western pressure and recent attacks on its nuclear facilities, raising global proliferation concerns. Iran admits severe damage at its Fordo nuclear site after U.S. strikes. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said no one knows the full extent of the damage yet, as technical teams continue assessments. Tehran blames Washington for escalating tensions and vowed to provide a detailed report to the government soon. This concludes our top stories for this hour. Many thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates on Qnews.